40 years, alhamdulillah. As we mark our 40 years, throughout the year, alhamdulillah.
Love at first sight.
It's the perfect opportunity to share some time with Dr. Hani. Of course, it's not an annual meeting here in Had without having a chance to share some time with Dr. Hani to give us some of his time, some of his wisdom, some of his words, good thoughts, and obviously to put everyone on the spot. I'm sure there'll be some of that as well, inshallah. Our honor, alhamdulillah. I don't really want to give a long introduction because I'd rather you get straight into the essence of the discussion, inshallah. But as always, alhamdulillah, feel free, inshallah. Afterwards, there will be an opportunity for questions as well, inshallah. To put Dr. Hani on the spot as much as possible, inshallah. I'm hoping there'll be a few more questions than there was in the previous session, inshallah. Just putting it out there. Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah wa sallallahu ala Rasulillah. Thank you for inviting me. Alhamdulillah, and I was feeling the power of magnetism which came from your invitation, brother Adnan. When you have this power, you can't resist it. Otherwise, it will take you to a brick wall, break your neck, your arm, your leg. So I have to respond to the fuse. He invited me a few days ago. I was still thinking, but I have to be here to release this power of magnetism of love. This is number one. While I was in hospital last week, I had the time to think. I thought about two things: the span of time and how long it is and how much you are wasting it. And I was doing in a minute what I was doing outside in half an hour. Because the time was under my bed at the time to do whatever I can do when I am alone. The second one is give me a CRISPR. One CRISPR. Give it back to the system. My first dinner before the operation was a sandwich. How on earth you eat a sandwich as a meal from 8 to 8? So I have to do this. Keep chewing. Keep chewing. This reminds me of two things. My mother in the good old days used to tell us, don't swallow food, chew it. Don't cut the bread, big pieces of bread, small pieces of bread. And this reminds me of the Gaza, Palestinian, Yemeni, Uyghur, Rohingya, Kashmiri saying the same to the children. Somali, Sudanese, Sunni, keep chewing to feel the fed. I found this very painful because the mother wants you to be full, but she does not have the mean to fill your stomach. The only thing she's telling you, keep chewing. Keep chewing. Keep chewing. These two lessons I learned last week. So I'm chewing now, learning to chew my food at my age. I have the fill and have less food to eat and more digestible food to come to my stomach. This is one thing. The second thing, you are communication. That's right. I wrote a lot of things about communication. Yesterday, I think, Adnan, I was sitting on my seat in my room, and treat any idea you have as a structured building. You have to build a structure. Treat any idea you have as an industry. You want to change your idea to industry, not to initiative, not to project, not to organization, not to institution, not to a program, to an industry. Because by definition, you are industrial beings. You are universal citizens. Islam is an industrial message. Let the followers of Islam to create industry around their ideas, not just to implement projects, not just to follow technology, not just to use technology, is to create technology which can make industry. Look at your idea at the beginning of industry and structure your idea and make your idea like some of you is a civil servant, a civil engineer. He will tell us how to build the structure or how to draw the structure. The time span which I felt in the hospital led me to think about our job description. So I keep crying, Brother Adnan, change the job description. Allow people to think. Allow people to read. Allow people to comprehend. Allow people to deliver. Allow people to connect. Don't make those 40 people in this room highly talented individuals be just firefighters. Demand for a job description. Review the job description. Review the job description. The people in the HR will tell you it's going to be expensive. Yes, it is. At the first year or two, investment in the first year or two is always expensive. But after that, will be extremely cheap. When a great idea come from a cleaner, come from a security man or woman, come from the tea woman or the tea man, can change the whole organization. One of the greatest songwriters in Egypt, you know what his job was? In the good old days, they used to iron the clothes in a shop, not a laundry. You send your clothes, you clean the clothes, you wash the clothes at home, then you send it to the iron man. And he loved the service of one of the top journalists. And the journalist found something in the pocket of his jacket. Ma'mun al-Shannawi. Anybody from Egypt here? Oh, this generation does not know what they're talking about. Ma'mun al-Shannawi, you know him? You know him? No. Okay, thank you. Anyway, he put his hand in his pocket and they found this piece of thing. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Poetry. And they got the girl. Is it yours? So I was scared. I don't know. But tell me, get me the one who wrote it to you. And he was the one who was ironing the clothes, uneducated. He wrote the best songs in the history of Egypt in the 50s and 60s. Never undermine in the local community somebody who was a cleaner or a bus driver or a taxi driver or a tea maker or a security man. He could be, or she could be far more better than any one of us in this room. Job description should be revisited again, again, and again. I'll take my bite to chew it, to keep my friend. Now, before we start to talk about your presentation, the speed of change globally or universally is incredible. Is incredible. I'm talking to you because you are communicator people. Is incredible. And this is about us knowing what message we need to communicate. It's about us, what kind of understanding of the communication as a system, as an industry, as an investment, as direction, as a strategy, as philosophy, as culture, as value, as principles, as ethics. We are not here only because we want to raise money. Money is the least. We are here to raise hearts, to raise feeling, to raise dreams, to raise the value of life, of man and woman on earth. This is the beginning of my actually talk with you. Shall I have a bite? I'm enjoying it. You can still till tomorrow. Get the second one, please. You can read whatever you want to read. But what happens after reading is what's needed to be thinking about. We read, so what? We read, so what? But do we read? No, we don't. And if we read, do you understand? Maybe. Do you comprehend? Maybe. Do you contemplate? Maybe. Do you produce? Maybe. Do you forget? Yes. Unfortunately. Change as communicators. Were you communicators or terminators? Which one you want?
We have to communicate.
Not terminators. Communicator has to let his or her message to reach the unreachable. No one can stop it. Become like the air, which everybody needs to breathe it, and nobody can stop it coming to the house. And this is your challenge. When you think about communication, as the Islamic Caliph wants more money, thank you, no problem. This is the beginning. What's after that? Must keep rising. As I said, Islam is universal, not global. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is universal, not global, not local, not national, not continental. He is a universal teacher of the universe, not of humanity. Of the universe. And we do not know who is living on the universe. Because one galaxy is far more bigger than the whole Earth and the whole world. With 2 trillion galaxies in the universe. This is the universal message of the universal Lord who told us to look at the universe and explore it, discover it, and lead the discussion and lead the leadership of the universe. Where are we from the message of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the book of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala? No book on earth, no matter whatsoever, can rise or can stand in the shadow of the Quran. Even in the shadow of the Quran. No book and have the challenge. And if mankind stand down together to write one verse, they will never write it forever. And we do not know that. We have a universal message for humanity as communicators. How can we communicate it? Think industrially about your profession, about your vehicle as organization, about your institution, about your job. How can you reach your message? Get your message to reach the unreachable. And this is the challenge. Every time you discover new land, this is not the end. This is the beginning of the second stage, and the second phase, and the second of 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 the second. This is the beginning, because there's no end. There is no end of what? Of developing Mr. Amin or Imam. Imam. You want to stand to become Imam? Imam is the leader by nature. It's not just a name. Huh?
I'm a fake imam. Not really.
I don't accept that. We don't have fake people here. Don't demean yourself, because you are a universal citizen. Imam is a leader. Imam is a guide. Imam is a teacher. Imam is a reference point. Imam is a father. So when you write, when you look at all these, which I wrote yesterday to all of you, and take it second slide, please. You want to see the second one? This is about communication. This is my philosophical thinking. Any idea, sister from Kosovo, you are Kosovar.
Yeah.
I am Kosovar as well. You know this?
Srebrenica.
Huh?
Srebrenica.
Why you are scared? Shout. Srebrenica. Say it.
I should say it, Srebrenica, yeah.
I don't hear you. Srebrenica.
Bosnia, yes, from Srebrenica.
I said loudly.
Oh, I can say it louder.
Okay. So what I was talking about? Srebrenica. Huh? The philosophy. Yeah. Any idea is philosophical. Then structured, and after that you build your industry to make that change. That's why when we look at all this, I want you to have your own building materials to build the structure of your idea, to build the structure of your industry. Then you put the furniture which is suitable inside this building. So the 78 points here are between building materials and furniture. Next, please. Next, please. Here's the challenge. I'm challenging myself and all of us. Open this book. Here's the challenge. Can anybody come here next to me? Why I am putting a woman at the end of my talk? The fight globally is for her, whether she's having a children or not. They want to take the motherhood away from our sister by changing her culture, changing her values. No, there's no problem if I'm not married. There's no problem if I don't have children. But there's a problem if I don't act like a mother. You could be the mother of your brothers and sisters. Could become the mother of your mothers. Could become the mother of the community. But you are the mother. Because Allah has put in the woman what He has not put in the man. This magnetic power of bringing everybody around her. When we went to Libya, where's Libya? Libya, and after Libya, what's next to Libya?
Algeria.
Tuna, Libya, Chad, Niger, and Mali. We took 3 young girls from Islamic. In the previous journey, we went to Mandera. No woman with us. The children were scared of us. The woman was scared of us. But when we took the 3 children in 2007, and we went to Chad, Niger, and Mali. تكتب معانا بقى؟ خد بالك؟ The 3 girls, Helen, Nadia Afghani from USA, and somebody else from London. Yeah, ثانية Nasreen. The reception was incredibly يعني over the moon. The children playing, sitting on their laps, the mothers were happy. This is the nature. This is the nature. Yes, brother? Were you one of the sisters? Okay, the reception was there because the nature of Allah put the nature in the woman of motherhood to be in you. That's why I mentioned at the beginning of this meeting, dismantling the family means dismantling society, dismantling community, dismantling nation, dismantling future. That's why protect the nature in you, young woman. And if I'm not married, there's no problem. If I don't have children, there's no problem. But I have to be the mother of everyone. And most of the wives of the Prophet ﷺ did not have children. But they're called Ummahat al-Mu'mineen. Ummahat al-Mu'mineen. Ummahat al-Mu'mineen. The mothers of all the believers. Fight for your nature. The nature that Allah has put inside you. And this is communication. To let anyone to understand what nature that he or she have in themselves. This is the last and not least. Well, I have time when I finish now. Yeah. The last. Wait. انتوا حاطين على computers.
انت خليت عبد الرحمن يعملها لك. عبد الرحمن بوظ.
تعالى يا عبد الرحمن.
خلاص دي كلها. Anyway, I think I talked about this. There's no need for me to talk again. But actually, we can send them by email to everybody. But I don't want to take too much time because I spoke too much. My last appeal was as I'm a salesman. As I'm a salesman. This is the book. This is not your book. Your book is coming from West Salah. The book is coming from about the new Adhan, the new dimension of international humanitarian work, which you decide for it. 22 authors brought here. 6 big chapters, like the ex-director of Al Jazeera and ex-producer of Al Jazeera and the professor of politics, professor of ex-minister of Awqaf of Islam theology, and others, plus 16 operational workers contribute to this book. Produce book to be read. This for sale. And I would ask you, if you can, £10 each. Or if you want to pay more, no problem. Actually, to read it and to benefit from it. The second book will do for Islamic relief. About Libya, disaster last year. the humanitarian response for Libya was being done miraculously for the first time brought Benghazi and Tripoli in the same meeting on Zoom for 7 days, 30 hours actually, and we managed to produce the material for the second book, 380 pages. It's in Arabic now, and Islamic Relief is a partner of the second book. Try not to end your activity by just producing a report. Try to produce something that everybody can read. A report could be for your department, but a book could be for the public in different languages. And Islamic Relief helped us in the workshops between Benghazi and Tripoli last year, and now we have to change it, translate it to English as well. So now I finished. I'm waiting for any question or comment. Yes, boss.
لا اله الا الله الحمد لله.
So we have around 10 minutes for any questions, any could be related to just talk about more general nature if you prefer. Not a problem, inshallah. So I'll open the floor to any questions.
Yes, so out of curiosity.
Yes.
So it's not, the question is not to go back and regret and so on, but if you could go back and do something different in the world, what would it be?
If I go back to do something different, I will not do something different. Because, alhamdulillah, I was a medical doctor. Alhamdulillah, I got my doctorate, which I enjoyed it. But there's an end of enjoyment when you become a doctor. But being a servant of a community has no end. Enjoyment. So when you become a servant and the community accept you to serve them, you can call yourself a servant. So what? But you need the community to make you a servant. They make you a servant. The joy in your service to the community is endless. Because it's a three-dimensional connection or communication. Allah, the community, and yourself. They are happy, Allah is happy, and you are forever happy. I wouldn't go back, do something else. I will do the same thing, but with different speed because the technology is available. I use the technology. The good old days, we use our legs, our hands, but not the technology. Can I have a bite?
With that, any other questions?
Charlie.
Charlie's my uncle. I live in Charlie, it's not Charlie.
Where's Charlie?
Anyone knows?
That's brilliant.
Who's
Charlie's his best friend. That's always with
Zangula
him.
Hershek of the wisdom and the time. How do we take terminology like what you use in the second to last slide and make it mainstream? You know, what's your vision to making the term? If we're going to create our own terminology, how do we get other people to understand it and use it?
Spread it. I'm saying the terminology for you because you are the communicator. People spread filth and you accept it as norm. Unfortunately. You know, at the Babel Electronic, what do you call it in English? The Babel Electronic?
Or like the bots,
The-
the social media, the guys that, you know, the intel agents when they sit in social media and they all type together. What is it called? Bots.
Ahmed bin Salman's bots.
They do this, spread the wrong terminology. If you don't use it, and you don't believe in it, and you don't connect it, you'll never become knowledge. Like the Babel Electronic, in some of the Arab countries, they spend hundreds of millions of pounds and dollars to spread fake terminology, and it becomes knowledge. You don't have 10,000 or 20,000 to stop people taking all the cat away from us. Got it? Got it?
Yes.
Thank you. I love you. Yes. Any other questions?
Last, we've got time for one more. If there's any,
Yeah.
one more question.
One more question. Two more questions. Three more questions.
So following up on the zakat, if no one else.
Anybody else?
So how?
Anybody else before you?
Oh yeah.
Alaona.
No, just a question to that what you said. I thought there is about the zakat. Is there like an initiative with the Rotary Q and so on to bring the people together?
Yeah. Okay, so that's the catch. And you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually zakat related as well.
Okay.
So I know there is a zakat conference coming up and so on, but what would you, or how would you suggest that we take ownership of that? Of zakat.
Okay. Come on, brother. He said, do you have a concept for the CAT conference or consultation?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe you can share this with you later on, because he has a concept. But there is no global organization collecting zakat. This is a dream at the back of the mind of Prince Hassan of Jordan to do that. But when I found in this statement was sent to me by the ambassador from the GCC countries and foreign office of this country, the taxation in one line and the zakat in the second line, there's a plan. Government, when they think strategically for years to come. They are not firefighters. They have think tanks for them. They have people thinking for them. Who don't stop becoming firefighters will never be able to produce a document to minimize the damage that might be happening to our community. Stop becoming firefighters. And you, Adnan, have heard this word from me. How many times? Many times. Has to be a strategy. You have to give you at least 10 or 20 or 30% of your time to think outside the box. Come with a great idea to the organization. Each one of you. Last and not least, to could you put 1 or 2 minutes? I was talking to one of my brothers, or my ustaz. He's Somali, but he is 30 years younger than myself. But he is my ustaz, Abdurrahman Sharif. You remember him? Abdurrahman Sharif is Bismillah MashaAllah. Is Bismillah MashaAllah, Bismillah MashaAllah. He came and told me regarding this thinking inside the organization. Certain organizations, global ones, from the West, you know what they're trying to do? Trying to think to create a job for somebody to think for the organization. One man or one woman. I laughed at Abdurrahman and I told him, Abdurrahman, one man or one woman will think. We need all the organization to think. Islamic Relief has got 4 or 5 or 6,000 employees. Each one of them has to produce an idea, has to produce a direction. Not only one man or one woman. You got it? Zakat is about your deen. If today the zakat will be taken from you, what will be happening tomorrow? As I said about the value of Kaaba, the instruction of Kaaba, what people were talking about Islam in the private meeting at the very beginning. It's interconnected. Because I'm talking to communication people who knows how to communicate the messages only for fundraising, but for community protection, for community connection, and for community creation of leadership as well. Thank you.
Jazakallah khairan, Dr. Hani. As you mentioned earlier, he actually went through an operation over the weekend. So even within his recovery phase, for his love for everyone, to be here, to be with everyone, he came and joined us today. So Jazakallah khairan for going and taking the extra time and extra effort and extra. Where's
The check is dua, huh?
Can we pay with chocolates?
You know what to do? Buy my book.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Buy my book. It's about buy my book. Give it to Abdurrahman or with
Should we start setting up for the
Yeah.
fundraising session?
yeah.
How many books? Hands up, come on guys. I'm gonna come around.
If you don't do that, give it to me.
Okay, hands up, hands up, hands up. You don't speak Arabic, you know an Arab somewhere, you're gonna give them a gift inshallah. عشان سويت ياخد ثلاثة إن شاء الله. قولي South Africa, Germany, ما شاء الله ثلاثة. أمانة.
Atik will take the card payments.